and welcome to Emerge the Radio Show. I'm Dorothea Schuler, and we're so glad you're joining us. On this week's show, we'll be speaking with Travis Harris and Giles Scott of Hot Mix VA Radio, and Chef Jazz Carter, the owner of Jazz of All Trades, a catering and personalized chef business. Of course, a little later, we'll be making a divine decision with me, Dorothea. Then we'll let Deshana drop some jewels on us as she gives her 2 cents on finance. But first up, like we always do around this time, we get to hear some amazing tips from Tiffany to help you emerge as a CEO. So come on, let's go and tiptoe over with Tiffany into the CEO's Corner.
Emerge yourself.
Welcome to the CEO Corner. I was reading my daily devotions and started one titled Legacy Leadership. When it comes to leadership, there are several aspects to focus on. There's developing people skills, there's building on vision, but there's also godly leadership. That is true leadership according to God's plan. It is an intentional journey. I'm going to repeat it. It is an intentional journey to ensure that the leadership calling and vision that you presently carry will impact the future generations to come. Sometimes as leaders, we focus on success, deadlines, quotas, and profit. But what we should be focused on is building future leaders. So CEOs, focus on legacy leadership. And I'm Tiffany Boyle, and that's my tip from the CEO Corner.
Emerge yourself.
You are tuned into the Emerge Radio Show. Our first guests are the owners of Hot Mix VA, a station that promotes VA artists.
All right, so right now we are in for a treat. We have Hot Mix VA on the show today. We have Mr. Travis Harris and Giles Scott. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, for sure. Excited to be here.
All right, so talk to us about Hot Mix VA.
Well, Hot Mix VA is VA's new outlet platform for up-and-coming independent artists, models, DJs, events, a lot of things that's going on in VA. We also have a location here in Tappahannock. We also have a studio. We do a lot of other services for independent artists. Also, we have a 24/7 online radio station that we can feature artists all day, 24/7, along with the top hip hop and R&B songs on the radio right now. So we're just trying to build a way for artists to be seen and heard from VA, because it's not really an outlet for VA. We're just trying to build that bridge.
I absolutely love that. And I definitely know some artists that have been talking about getting in circulation from VA. And so I'm so happy to meet you guys. And then can you tell us a little about who you guys are and who makes up Hot Mix VA?
Well, like I said, I'm Travis, and it's 3 of us total. One of our other partners, he's not here. He's our stage sound guy, DJ. He handles a lot of the equipment. But my partner here is Giles. He can tell you a little bit more about our radio station.
Yeah, for sure. Again, the other gentleman that he mentioned, his name is DJ Achmiosa. His actual name is Mark Redman. He is a DJ. Been DJing around here for probably over 20 years. And how we all came together with Hot Mix VA, we kind of met a few years ago amongst doing different events and entertainment and music, doing shows, parties, different things over the past probably 10 years or more, and in our own personal endeavors in business. And so over maybe the past 5 years or so, we kind of connected amongst different events and realized that if we came together, we have a much stronger unit and to be able to accomplish the dream that we all had individually. And so that's how we all came together under the umbrella of Hot Mix VA that Travis himself started a few years before we all met.
I have the pleasure of following y'all on Facebook. I was born and raised in Middlesex County, but I went to King and Queen County schools, and I see a lot of the events that y'all are at, in the community. So talk to us about what y'all are doing in the community.
Yeah, so with the events, everything that we've always done is pretty much to try to bring a new idea to the area, something that we saw as something we were interested in, with be it music, entertainment, news, anything like that. And so with our community, we saw an outlet to need to provide the information of what's going on, where to be, and to enjoy our area, because there's not a lot of outlets from the area that we're from. And so this dream built out of that, trying to build more out of what we're from, along with the fact that we know that there's a lot of talented artists in the state of Virginia, from Virginia, that live here, born here, or came here that have the same kind of issue going on nationwide or globally. So it's a small dream that came from our small town. But again, it's approached with the state, and we want to connect the businesses to what's going on in entertainment and the arts, connect the businesses to the community. It's a lot that we're trying to put into this, but it's a long journey. We're enjoying it so far.
Yeah, definitely. With the events, we're kind of into everything. We kind of want to give everybody an opportunity to come to us with ideas.
Network, build together.
Just ideas, plans, and we want to provide services to, make your ideas, plans, happen with media, video, music, staging, a lot of different things. A lot of the events that we get booked for are we deal with a lot of community-based events, as in with churches, the schools, the public schools, a lot of Essex County mainly. Westmoreland, a lot of different things too. A lot of churches. We just try to be involved in a lot of community activities, events, anything that we can do to help, at affordable prices, of course, because that's something else we want to help. And people realize too that, we all need each other. We all got to start somewhere, so we just trying to make things happen, for everybody, even the people that feel like they can't, do these things. We just want to let them know that, we're here to help them also.
Can you talk to us on the business aspect of what it took to start your own radio station?
On the business side of that, it takes a lot of research just to make sure that you're approaching things in a professional manner and in a legal manner, for sure, when you're dealing with music and arts and businesses, for sure. And so in the business side of things, there's services out there that DJs to play music or radio stations to play music. So when it comes to setting that up, we just had to make sure that we found the right service to provide the need that we were looking for. And so that's why our platform is through the Live 365 Radio, who allows us to have our radio station on that app. So anyone in the world can listen to the music that we choose to play, or the DJs what they choose to play on our station. And when it comes to the business side of things, was just figuring out what our goal was and developing a business plan, and to try to just take that step by step and understand that it's a process. We definitely went in this process knowing that it's going to take us years to build our dream. And it's something that we have chosen to do while also continue to have full-time jobs, based on the careers that we had prior to getting into this.
Definitely. This is, we're going on our third year now. So for the business side, from the beginning, like I said, it started with an idea, and things kind of fell into place location-wise, just kind of, everything just worked out. We're definitely trying to build the brand, expand across the whole state of VA. We want the whole state of VA to know about us. If you're coming from out of town, we want you to know about us. Check us out. Look us up. And being based here, Tappahannock, VA, as the first Black-owned radio station here is a very important thing. Right here on the corner in our own town, it's a very good look for Black businesses in our area, definitely.
So how do you go about marketing and branding in your area, and then to branch out across the state of Virginia?
So what it really took was kind of how we became a formal business situation, where it was amongst the pandemic that had started in 2020. And so we in a situation of having a little more free time on our hands, because we were pretty much working on for ourselves at that point, trying to figure out life because of how situations went with the jobs that we had in that moment. And so the way things worked out was that we were able to just kind of network a lot during our downtime. So we did a lot of networking. We went out, masked up, of course, and we drove around the state, going to different venues. So we were at different shows in different cities across the state, networking with those people that are in those businesses, being a vendor at those events. So we traveled from Tappahannock to Richmond to Newport News to Virginia Beach to wherever we needed to be to network with the people that had a similar interest as us, to learn from them, to build with them, and to market and to build that brand. And then so when it comes to having the small town aspect to it, where we're developing the business from, is all word of mouth. It's all networking. You really have to be in front of the people. And so that's why we're out here in the community, being a part of the what's going on in the community, networking with those people in the community, networking with the businesses that are providing for that community, the stores, every organization that contributes to the community. So, when it comes to being in business, you have to do business on both sides, of the situation, to your consumers and to the peers and to the government. There's a lot that takes to being a part of the community.
Awesome. So I do have a question for you, gentlemen. January is, Financial Wellness Month. So talk to us or provide us with a tip, a finance tip that you all have utilized for your business.
Financial tip. One simple word to me is just save, man. Save for hard times and save for rainy days. That's the best thing I can tell if you can, if possible. Like my partner said, we still work our full-time jobs, our day jobs, basically. So
to sum it up, cash is king. And so, whenever you're making an endeavor, cash is king. The more cash you have on hand and saved up, that's our financial tip. And that's one reason why we have continued to be consistently working as much as we can outside of this venture, because cash is king. And so if we have to invest into other things going on with our business, sometimes that may have to continue at this moment in our process, come from our personal investments. But we also make sure that we, keep track and understand where those investments are coming from and, make sure that we are making wise investments into our business venture.
If you are just tuning in, you are listening to Emerge. I'm Tiffany Boyle, along with co-host Deshana Kemp Garnett, and we are talking with Hot Mix VA. So we're so excited about that. I don't think we've had anybody on the radio show that actually owns like a radio station. So you guys are our first. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So where do you think your next branch, I guess, would be? So when you say cross, you want to be across the whole state of Virginia, is that you have to set up different stations, or do you have to just broaden your coverage area?
Just broaden our networking area. Visit places we haven't been yet, meet people we haven't met yet, just do things just a little bit different this year, a little bit bigger and better. A lot of things we couldn't do year before, such like that. So our plan is to do a lot of networking, hands-on footwork, get out there and meet people, shake hands, introduce ourselves. Just get out there and do it. Social media is real valuable also, but this year we plan on doing a lot of footwork. So we plan on hitting all the way to the far corners of VA, Roanoke area. We've had artists come by the station from Charlottesville, South Boston, VA. I'm just trying to think as far west VA.
Furthest ride has been 4 hours.
It's been 4 hours.
To come to a podcast with us. And so we know that there's lots of opportunity for the artists in our community. And that's when it comes to going to statewide of what we do, because this stems from our love for music and our love for Virginia artists and the talent that they have. And so we really want to make sure that this is what we're doing, that we still continue to provide that opportunity for them. And we want to help grow with them, market with them, be a part of that whole process. We're not artists ourselves in the sense of continuing to push into that dream, but, we're both are musicians in our own right. And so we just continue to have that love. And so that's what we want to do, is to make sure that we're continuing to network across the state of Virginia and to bring those opportunities for the people to know what's going on for each other. So if we can get to Roanoke, and the thing is because the showcases that we did have a few years ago, that were a lot of independent artists, hip hop artists. After those showcases, those artists have songs together. Those artists have videos together. Those artists continue to network and build together. And I watch it on social media every day, all day long. I mean, they don't talk to us anymore, but they talk to each other. And I love it, and so that's why we do it. And that's how we plan to continue to do it.
So if I were an artist and I want my music played, how do I contact you?
You would just contact us by email at hotmixva1@gmail.com, and also Instagram or Facebook. But the main thing is to go to the website and check out the website, hotmixva.net. We have a lot of good info on there. That's one of our main tools for our artists. The artists could also go on there and go down to the memberships and packages tab. And right there we have a list of all our services and the cost of memberships, monthly memberships. We basically work for you, the artist, for the whole month. You focus on music and you just let us know what you need and what we can do for you. Your music's played on the station 24/7, along with the hottest hip hop and R&B in the country. You need studio time, discounted, photography, any events or any info that's important to that artist, such as showcases or appearances. We provide all that also. Live interviews. Also on the website, we provide artists' bios and information for people to learn about artists also. That's something that we provide for artists also to promote their music, promote them. People can come to the website to just get to know independent artists. If you were an artist, your fans could come there to get to know you, check out your music. Anything that you got going on, they can go to hotmixva.net and check you out, because we also promote you as the artist on all our social medias, on the radio station. That's all what comes in the packages of, membership packages when it comes to promoting artists.
Okay, and Hot Mix VA, and is that all spelled normal? There's not like an extra X or anything?
Oh, no. Just as hotmixv.net.
All right, just want to make sure.
Oh, no problem.
And same thing for the Instagram, right?
Yeah, same thing for the Instagram. Well, actually, anything Hot Mix VA, it will come up. You can Google us, anything Hot Mix VA, all our social media, everything that we're involved. Events, our YouTube, Hot Mix VA Radio YouTube channel, which has all of our interviews from our sponsors, artists, even videos from our sports show, Northern X Sports Talk. If you have any sports fans out there, that's one thing we do too. We try to branch into a lot of different things and give local people or people in our area opportunity to make those things happen.
That is absolutely amazing. I think it's about time to get y'all down here to some of the events that we have in Hampton Roads, which we will definitely be providing you with information on because we'd love to have you down. I'm always rooting for the home team, even though I didn't go to Essex. I still have stake there. So anytime I get to link up with someone, from home, it's always a great thing to me. But we are at my favorite point of the interview. Though it's almost over and we have to let you go, we do have one more question, and that's our signature question. What does the word emerge mean to you?
So that's a great word. Emerge means to me, to us, I'm gonna speak for myself, but to merge to me means to blend, to grow, to cross over. It means to come one with the situation. That's what it means to me.
When I hear the word emerge, I just feel like it's a word for just coming out, like just busting out, just letting them know you're here type of deal. Like, like in your face, like emerge. I like that word too. That's just how I feel when I hear emerge. Like you're just letting people know you're here.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
So can we ask you a question or y'all a question?
Absolutely.
What does emerge to you?
Well, for me, emerge is the journey to becoming the best you. So I look at it as like it's never over. It's just the journey to becoming the best you that you want the world to see.
I like that.
I think my definition always changes, but to me, emerge means to go through whatever you're going through and always rise to the occasion.
Definitely.
That's awesome. That's what's up. Well, we love the concept. We love what you all are doing. Thank you all for providing us with this opportunity for sure. It's great what you all are doing, and we love to, like you had mentioned, network with anything in the future, and particularly the events and all. So please keep in touch.
Emerge yourself.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Considering an online pharmacy? Explore BeSafeRx to find useful information and resources to help you purchase medicines safely online. A safe online pharmacy requires a doctor's prescription, has an address in the United States, has a licensed pharmacist, and is licensed by a state pharmacy board. It's best to stay away from online pharmacies that don't meet these criteria. Discover more helpful tips and resources at BeSafeRx. Go to fda.gov/BeSafeRx.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Emerge yourself.
Welcome back. I'm Dorothea Schuler, and you're listening to the Emerge Radio Show. The show that's all about entrepreneurs and business and is the premier information source for business owners. If you're just now joining us, Deshana and Tiffany spoke with Travis Harris and Giles Scott of Hot Mix VA Radio. They provide a networking platform for new VA artists, producers, DJs, and models to showcase their talent, featured on the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week radio station, Hot Mix VA Radio. So, if you missed their interview, you'll definitely want to catch up on all you've missed. And you can listen to any of our previous shows by visiting emergethemagazine.com. Okay, every living being inevitably operates and proceeds throughout the course of their lives based upon a series of decisions. A decision is a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And divine means excellence. So we're making an excellent choice. With that being said, let's make the divine decision today to occupy. The dictionary defines occupy as to reside or have one's place of, to fill or preoccupy. Okay, we know that right now, at this very moment, we're all occupying something. A bed, a car, a chair, maybe you're working in a toll booth. Hey, you could even be occupying a boat at the moment, taking a nice afternoon sail, venturing along the Chesapeake Bay. My point, we're more than likely aware of when and how we're occupying something physically. Okay, so I won't waste time turning this around. I want to ask the question, what are you occupying mentally? Are your thoughts concise, clear, direct, enabling you the ability to envision your goals and follow them by mentally occupying a particular path or mindset required to emerge you into the next level? Or are your thoughts cluttered, confusing, unstable, disabling your vision, causing you to abandon sound mental occupancy, creating doubt, and resulting in the failure to become the greater version of yourself? My hope today is that you receive a new revelation on what it means to occupy. What it means to consciously reside or have one's place to fill. If we're talking about driving a car, then please do it while sober and responsibly. Don't text. Act as if your life and others depends on it, because it does. If you set a goal like obtaining your degree, occupy your mind with the diligence, discipline, and consistency needed to complete your goal. Make conscious decisions to occupy however and wherever, and do it with a good attitude. Here's something that I saw to be relevant for today's divine decision. It's from my favorite book, the Bible. And he called 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy until I come. Meaning, we are to be occupied in the work given us and also to have something to show for it in return. Join me today and make the divine decision to occupy until the time comes, knowing ultimately it will emerge you into where you're going. You're listening to Emerge the Radio Show, and this, my friends, has been another divine decision with Dorothea. You can make the decision to be a part of Emerge by submitting your response to our signature question. What does the word emerge mean to you? Share that with us on our IG at Emerge the Magazine. This week's response, well, it's for me, Dorothea, your host for Divine Decisions with Dorothea, of course. I also serve as the Chief Marketing Officer here at Emerge. All right, so what does the word emerge mean to me? Ascending to a higher level daily. First, in your relationship with Christ, which brings God blessing, favor, and the authority to ascend your thoughts, thus emerging you into greater. Yep, that's what it means and what it has meant to me. And you can follow me on IG at Divine Decisions _emerge the mag. That's Divine, DIVINE, Decisions, DECISIONS _emerge the mag. That's MAG. Okay, thanks for listening to the Emerge Radio Show. Up next, Tiffany and Deshana will be speaking with Chef Jazz Carter, the founder and owner of Jazz of All Trades. Let's listen in as she talks about the emergence and uniqueness of her catering and personalized chef business.
Emerge yourself.
It's Emerge Wednesdays on WHOV 88.1 FM.
Well, hello, Jasmine. We are so excited to have you with us today and talk about all the great things you're doing. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. I'm a full-time caterer. I do a personal chef. I do events and whatnot. Now I work for Virginia Beach City Public Schools, a little part-time gig. But this is the first job that I've had in 3 years. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since March of 2019. So it's almost 4 years now, but I'm a mom of one who is a girl who's about to graduate from high school in June. Right.
Yeah.
And then it's off to college. So, I'm doing everything I can short of selling, my body and drugs to make sure I have enough to, put her through school.
I am done. I can't. So you said this is your first time having like a full-time job, you said, in 3 years?
Part-time. So it's very part-time. It's like 6 hours a day and early morning to early afternoon. And then I still have the rest of the day to cater to my business.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So how long have you been in the catering business?
March of this year, 2023, will make 4 years that I've been in this business.
Can you talk to us about what, led you to start back in March of 2019?
Sure. God, that's basically it. I would have probably bet money that I would be doing something else. I was in accounting for 22 years and got laid off from my job and was literally on my way home from a coworker's house, consoling her because she had never, been late. She was really stressed and heard a commercial for Art Institute. They were having an open house for all of their degrees. And I said, I'll go to this open house. I literally had it was early in the day. I had never had just free time on my hands. And I said, I'll go check it out. And they had a really nice display of fruit. And I guess it turned me on enough to go ahead and enroll. And I went ahead and enrolled full time and wasn't sure what I was going to do with the enrollment. I wasn't sure what direction I was headed in. I didn't have a goal or a plan. I literally, something just said, do it. And so I did it. And probably around somewhere maybe into 6 months into the program, I decided to start what happened was I was meal prepping for my daughter. So I've always sent her to school with lunch. She never took the school lunch. She always wanted me to make her lunch. And I posted her lunch on Facebook, and I made some comment to maybe everyone else kids gets to eat regular lunch and look what I have to, look what my daughter has to get sent to school with or whatever. And people started saying, oh, is that what your daughter taking to lunch? Can you start making my lunch? And it turned into meal prepping, totally just kind of doing that for, I won't say for fun, but it definitely was just still not a business per se. It was just, me meal prepping for people. And then it gradually turned into personal chefing because I had a professor at the time who was like, hey, I got a gig. Can you help me? And I kind of enjoyed it. I said, oh, it was nice. It was out in Sandbridge. It was 12 people. It was an intimate wine dinner, a course, 3 or 4 course wine dinner. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And so it went to that and eventually just blossomed into a full service catering business. But in 2019 is when I said, you know what, let me go ahead and make this legit. But when I got laid off, I want to say it was maybe 2017 or 2018. It escapes me, but I said, let me go ahead and make this legit. And so I did all of the things, paid all of the money to the good old state of Virginia. And, here I am.
I know it's so much that goes into being an entrepreneur. And it's so crazy when we ask people, what led to it. Y'all make it sound so easy and so simple.
That was not the intention. I tell people all the time that this is definitely not for the weary, especially if you maybe are of a particular age and you've been used to working a regular job for years. You're used to benefits. You're used to getting a paycheck like regular. You're used to every 2 weeks. So you're used to having a salary and knowing exactly how much is going to be in your bank account and when. You're used to being able to save, right? Used to all these things. And when you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're one like me who I've had to kind of reach into a bag of being extroverted because it's not my default. I've had to kind of reach into a bag to become that. It's difficult when you're used to sitting in your office and, only have to come out to, kind of boss your employees around a little bit, like, hey, make sure y'all getting this done or make sure you get me this report or whatever. And then to go from that to you really get out of your business what you put in. So if you're not networking, if you're not out meeting people, if you're not doing the things that need to be done in order to get recognized, then you won't get business. And you don't get business, then you don't get to eat. You don't get to go on vacations and do all of the lovely things that you enjoy doing when you work the full-time job.
That is so true. I can't even tell you how many business owners and entrepreneurs I've talked to. And I think that mindset shift from employee to business owner is, something that a lot of people struggle with because, when you go to your job, hey, I'm going to show up at this time. I'm going to leave at this time. I'm going to do these things. A week or 2 weeks, I'm going to get a check. And as a business owner, sometimes, it might be weeks where you working. You're like, okay, when am I going to get this payday? So yeah, I think, you touched on some really important things right there.
It's true. It does take a mindset shift. Absolutely. It takes a shift in a lot of things. It takes, your time management goes to a whole nother level before you just, I have to be to work at this time and I'm done at this time. And then, maybe sometimes I have to bring some work home in order to get stuff done. But it's like when you are an entrepreneur, it's almost like there is no off switch. You have to make an active decision to not work. It's a never ending situation. So I think I work really hard now so I can get to the point where I have an off, where I can consciously say, oh, I'm off that day. I'm not working that day. I'm not doing anything that day. And I don't mean just physically working. We're always working, whether we're talking to somebody about what we do, it could be bumping into somebody in the grocery store, whether it's let me log on and this person is asking for their invoice, or let me log on, this person needs a quote. Let me do this, let me do that. So we're always in a constant state as an entrepreneur of working. And so I think the goal is to get to the point where the business can kind of work itself. I know for me, where I can get to a point where I can hire people who can do the majority of the work. Right now, I kind of hire as I need. Like if I have a big event, I have people who I hire, who I have on books, who I can say, hey, I need you on this date. And, they are able to oblige. But like I said, it's rewarding, but it's a lot. It's way more work than you do when you're working for somebody else. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. So I hope y'all are taking notes because Chef Jazz just dropped some jewels. When you are a business owner, when you are an entrepreneur, you have to give yourself a schedule. You have to schedule your off time and then give yourself, if you have to do your business from home or go in the office, give yourself some hours so you won't overwhelm yourself and you're still making time for the things you need to make time for. I think that was one of the things I struggled with, especially having a home office. My son would look at me and be like, Mommy, when are you coming out of your office? And I'm like, is it dark? Is it dark outside? Seriously? So yes, I completely get it. And if you are just tuning in, you are listening to the Emerge Radio Show. I'm your host, Shayna Kemp Garnett, along with co-host Tiffany Boyle. And today we are talking to Chef Jazz about her entrepreneur journey. So Chef Jazz, what else did you want to, share about your journey to becoming an entrepreneur?
I would say, of course, you made a good point about that. I will also say that I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, or I can speak for myself and other entrepreneurs that I know, struggle with making sure we pay ourselves. I think a lot of the times we get payment and then everything we're just constantly paying back into the business. And, we need this, we need that. But we have to make sure that we are, budgeting accordingly and making sure that we're paying ourselves. I think that's a really big one, is the budget budgeting. And if you can afford, I would really say if you can afford an accountant, to get one, because as an entrepreneur, you are so busy putting so much of yourself into your business. You don't have time to do the paperwork. You try to make time to do the paperwork. Maybe you don't always give yourself that time. And then things happen and then you give yourself zero grace because you're like, oh, I could have done this different. I could have done this better. But we really do need help. There's a lot of one woman acts out here, a lot of one man acts out here, but I guarantee you that all of them will have that same piece of advice. If you know that you won't have the time, get somebody on your team. You know, there are some accountants out there who are not as expensive, and maybe you get a smaller package. Maybe you get the package where they only manage your receipts, you know, and maybe you try to do your own taxes, or maybe you get someone who can at least do your monthly taxes and your quarterly, you know, your monthly and your annual taxes, and then maybe you try to handle your receipts. But definitely try to get help, because it can be a very daunting task if you're trying to do it all at the end of the year, all at the beginning of the year, and all at once.
Oh, you said a mouthful there. And I kind of had a question to ask you, but you really answered it, because January is Financial Wellness Month. I was going to ask you what are some financial tips you can give other business owners, but I think, you know, you laid it out perfectly. Pay yourself first and really get help. Talk to a financial professional, you know, an accountant. So I think you touched on some really good things there.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Oh, I was just saying, I totally agree. And I thank you for like sharing so much of that with us. And then I was going to ask, like, what are your plans going forward? Like, do you have a 5-year, 10-year plan? Like, how do you plan on emerging?
I absolutely do. So another good tip I would say is to make sure you're surrounding yourself with they don't always have to be business minded people, but they need to be you minded people. They need to always have your best interest at heart. You need your sister circle. You need the people who are not going to talk. I don't want to say talk down your dream, but they have a certain air of negativity. You don't want those people. You want the people that you can say, this is my plan. And they say, oh, well, what are we going to do to get there? Let's do it. Or the people who's going to say, well, these are the things that you need to do to get there. So I would say start with that. I fortunately have that. I have a circle of people around me who are really, they affirm me constantly, because I think because we get so tired all the time from all the work we do, it can be really easy to get sidetracked. And if you're a person like me who has 8 billion ideas all the time, it's really easy for me to go, oh, this is what I'm doing today. Oh, but look at this. It's like, oh, squirrel, you know? So I would say,
I completely understand. That's me all day.
Right? It's so easy to do. And so I would say my 5-year goal, which now it's down to 3, because it's something that I started working on 5 years ago, is a bed and breakfast. That was my 5 years. And now it's down to 3 years, my bed and breakfast. And so I have to be, I have people around me who constantly reminded that that's what I'm working for, because sometimes I'm like, oh, it's a good idea if I do this, or what if I do this? And they're like, is that going to get you to your goal? Is that going to help you? And then I have to stop and reevaluate my thoughts and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe not. And so I'm, like I said, really fortunate to have that. So that's my goal, is to open a bed and breakfast and also a cafe. The cafe is hopefully within a year or 2. And the bed and breakfast is, you know, I'm holding strong for that 3-year mark at this point.
I love it. That is such an awesome, both of those are just awesome goals. That is great. So we expect to hear from you in 3 years.
Yes. We have a huge opening, because, you know, the New Yorker in me doesn't know how to do things small. I have to always be told, you're doing too much, scale it down. So it's important to have those people in your life too. The people who's going to lovingly check you and keep you grounded and also keep you at pace.
Yeah, totally. So can you share with us, Chef Jazz, how people can get in contact with you if they want catering services, if they just want to talk to you more about all the great advice you've given all of us today? Let us know all your info.
Sure. I can be reached. I'm older, so I'm trying now. I'm not older. We in the same age around here. I'm just saying, you know, then the millennials out there. But the social media is still kind of new. But I can be found on Facebook, Chef Jazz Carter, on Instagram, also Chef Jazz VA. So on TikTok is Chef Jazz VA. So it's all should all be under Chef Jazz VA. If anybody wants to reach out, they can email me at info@chefjazzofalltrades.com. And I will be more than happy to answer any questions, even if you need, if anyone needs help with starting their business and they have questions. If I can't answer it, I guarantee you there's somebody in my circle who I can go to or point you in the right direction for answers.
All
I love
right.
that.
So,
Thank you for sharing that.
Tiffany, is it my favorite time?
It is your favorite time. Yep.
All right. So, Chef Jazz, I'm going to ask you one last question, and that is our signature question. What does the word emerge mean to you?
The word emerge, I would say it means to me to kind of rise to who you are meant to be. I don't think that's always easy, but I would say just rise to who you are meant to be. It's scary, but you can overcome the fear. Emerge, yeah. Rise to who you're meant to be.
I love it. And we purposely do not tell people that we ask that question. Well, unless you've listened to the show, because we want that raw instinct answer. And everybody always has something different.
I always read the highlights that y'all do of the different entrepreneurs and the people. And I always read their responses to that question. And it is always a different answer. But I love reading their responses.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was so much fun talking to you today and learning all about your business and how you got started. And looking forward to your bed and breakfast and cafe in the future.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me on. It's always good to, if I can say anything to inspire other people, then, that's right up my alley, especially women. I'm a champion of us women. And I hope you ladies can make it to my birthday brunch.
Right.
Emerge yourself.
I see you finally got a new helmet.
I did. Bought it cheap online. Follow me. We'll turn off here.
I'm right behind you.
Watch the cars. They can be crazy.
Teddy! No! Are you okay? Somebody do something!
Was this young man hit by a car?
Yes, and his helmet is smashed.
It's a brand new helmet.
It's probably a fake. Fakes cause real harm. You're smart. Buy smart. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads.
It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Do you know what that is? That's the sound of your classmate forwarding a picture from your profile to everyone he knows. A college student downloading all your pictures to his hard drive. A teacher wondering what you were thinking. Some guys posting graphic comments about your body and what they do with it. Your neighbor printing out your latest pictures for his collection. A man spending some alone time with your picture while no one else is around. And worst of all, your dad seeing a photo of you topless. All because of the time you posted those pictures on your profile. Anything you post online, anyone can see. Family, friends, and even not so friendly people. So think before you post. For more information, visit www.cybertipline.com.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Justice, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the Ad Council.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
You're listening to the Emerge Radio Show on WHOV FM.
I am Deshana Kemp Garnett, and it's time for my 2 cents. Hello and happy Wednesday. Yes, we've made it to another Wednesday. So what is it that I want to share with you today? First, I want to tell you a little story. I am all about supporting, local business owners, people I know, people in the community. And so in 2022, I ordered a lot of polo-like shirts, and put a specific logo on it. The company I work with, they were super easy to work with, always had the order ready, would work with me on pickup. But one thing I found out with the billing, I go over them like, hey, don't forget to send me the invoice. Sometimes, if I could remember, I would have cash, I would pay for things because I wasn't necessarily just ordering these polo shirts for myself. I would order them for large groups of people and have a specific logo put on them. So I specifically remember, saying, hey, I paid you in cash because I had collected money for this particular order. Can you just bill me for the rest? Send me the invoice. We really want to get this taken care of before the end of 2022 to make sure we have everything set with our budget. And I never received that invoice. And so I would say last week, I received the invoice from this company. And it made me think of, I know this company probably does a lot of business. When I've gone to this particular location, I've only ever seen 2 employees. So I wonder how many invoices that they have that are unpaid. Because for me, if I know I owe you, I'm going to stay on top of it because I work with integrity and I want people I do business with to do the same. So I wanted to make sure I, pay this company their money. But I'm like, hey, it's a little late. So I just wanted to talk to you about that. What are your billing strategies? Are you on top of it? Do you need help? Because if you're not managing your billing strategies and you're not getting your invoices out there, you're not tracking them to make sure they're paid, you are actually leading up to potentially having some cash flow problems. And a lot of business owners deal with that. And then what if you have a good billing strategy, right? But you have a client who is consistently late. Let's think about some creative ways we can get our invoices paid on time. Say if you have a customer who's consistently late and you said, hey, if you pay this invoice within 10 days, you'll receive a 1% discount. We're not trying to mess up our bottom line, but we do want to offer an incentive to make sure our invoices are paid on time. That's just one thing we could do. Think outside of the box. But the first thing is making sure you have a great billing strategy. I am Deshaina Kemp Garnett, and that's my 2 cents.
Here's what's coming up in Hampton Roads.
Let's take a look at some local and regional activities. Wednesday, January 25th at 9 a.m. through February 15th at 5 o'clock p.m. Hampton Roads Eastern Shore Region One-on-One Business Counseling. The Hampton Roads Eastern Shore includes Greensville County, Hampton, Newport News, Yorktown, and Poquoson. A representative with the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity will be conducting one-on-one counseling sessions on how to do business with Virginia state agencies and how to access business development resources, including SWAM certification and state financing programs. These 1-hour sessions are by appointment only. This will take place at The Hive by City of Virginia Beach, 140 Independence Boulevard, Virginia Beach. For additional information, visit allevents.in. Wednesday, January 25th at 5:30 p.m. A workshop on how to start your own business. Are you interested in starting a business but concerned about how to begin, where to begin, whether your idea makes sense? Here's a chance to get some answers. Join us for this free workshop. This will take place at the Williamsburg Regional Library, 515 Scotland Street, Williamsburg, Virginia. To register, visit williamsburg.score.org. Saturday, January 28th, 10 o'clock a.m. through 12:30 p.m. 2023 Goal Setting Workshop for business owners and individuals. Be intentional about 2023. Let's set goals that will challenge us to win big this year and put our process in place for accountability. This will take place at Lake Center, 1501 Independence Parkway, Chesapeake, Virginia. To purchase tickets, visit eventbrite.com. A special thank you for the guests on today's show. To listen to past episodes of Emerge Radio Show, visit emergethemagazine.com.
Emerge yourself.
You've been listening to the Emerge Radio Show. All opinions expressed on this show are that of our guests and may or may not be shared by the Emerge Radio Show staff. Follow us on Facebook. Search Emerge Radio Show. On Instagram, Emerge the Magazine. And online, emergethemagazine.com.